All right. Well, certainly the second signing date, so to speak. Not a whole lot of news coming out of this signing class or this signing date, with the addition of one young man, Cameron Dye from Milton High School. It's going to be a nice addition to our offensive line and that room with Coach Thomas Austin. Certainly looking forward to having him as part of Georgia State University. And being a local young man certainly is always good as well. Starting our off season, our strength and conditioning, we've had a few new faces come into our program. Darren Granger, of course, has come in as the quarterback position. Shamar McCollum is come in as a defensive end outside linebacker for us as well. And then Jakai's Cradle, a big time wide receiver, has come in as well. So we've added a few new faces to our roster to help us better prepare for this upcoming season, and looking forward to getting in the weight room and just seeing how our team develops and see what comes out of this spring practice. We have got some spring practice dates set, and we've got a spring game set. So we're looking forward to the upcoming events.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. As a friendly reminder, if you would unmute yourself, mute yourself to ask your question, and then remute yourself, we would greatly appreciate it. You may go ahead.
All right, Coach, this is Marcel Perdue from the Sports Inquirer. Yeah, 9 seniors return and opt into their another campaign, including Gilmore and O'Rees. What does that mean for you and the program to have 9 guys be able to come back and play another year for your team?
It's really, it's hard to really think about it, because what a great senior class they were. And then to have the opportunity to come back with more experience, better leadership, and like I always say, to do something we've never done before is great. I think it's a testament to our team and our football program that they want to return for that extra year of eligibility and do some things that we feel like we can do here. It's a good feeling. They're all great young men, and we're looking forward to having them back for another year.
Coach, will all 3 of the transfers be eligible right away?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see on this rule. The rule was not passed, of course, like everyone thought it was going to be. In my conversations with various people, I think the rule will pass, and all 3 of these individuals will have the opportunity to play next fall.
How does adding 3 guys like that help depth, advance the program, whatever? How does that help you?
Yeah, well, first of all, when you look at the from a depth standpoint, I think Darren Granger is probably the where it helps us immediately. Right there at the quarterback position. Just having a few guys here on scholarship at the quarterback position. We had a couple guys transfer out a couple of years back, and we weren't able to, or didn't want to add just any old guys to that particular room. But I think Granger gives us some experience. I mean, we've seen him play in person right here in our own stadium, and he was a magical player that night. So we're looking for great depth in that room now, and experience depth. The other guys, they've got playing experience. Certainly, when you look at Cradle, for example, I mean, goes to Central Florida, plays as a true freshman, big time talent. If you look at our receiving core and kind of see some of the sizes and the different skill sets that we have, he's going to fit in nicely there. Have a opportunity to help us really, really quickly. And then Shamar Mccollum, an outside linebacker that plays with a great motor, defensive end type, pass rusher, guy we know about really well out of Dillon High School in Dillon, South Carolina. He's going to come in and be able to put pressure on the quarterback immediately. And those are things that I think all 3 of these individuals give us it trends upwards when you talk about the position groups and just who they are and what type of players they are.
Well, the receiver seems like he fits your mold. I mean, those big, tall guys who are athletic, and the McCollum, it's like it's a motor guy like you like to have. They seem like they're perfect fits.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, and we're not, when I say we're not really big on the transfer, I use that term sometimes, I don't know, I think people take it the wrong way. I think once they've gone to a program and and have actually played. They're leaving for not the reason of they weren't good enough or they didn't like their playing time or things of that nature. These guys have went in and worked hard and established themselves as really good players. And they're coming in here with film from their other universities that they've done quite well at. So we're excited about adding those three guys, and I can't wait to get on the field with them. I mean, when you look at them, I mean, Shamar, he's 6'4", he's 235 pounds. He's got a great frame, long arms, explosive burst. Cradle on the wide receiver. I mean, he's 6'4", he's 205 pounds right now, I believe, and maybe a little bit lighter than that, but great catching ability. Ball skills are off the chart. I mean, he has the ability to go up and get the ball. Similar in Pinckney. So those are dangerous combinations that we're adding right there. And then, of course, Granger. If everyone can remember this listening right now, him coming in here and playing against us, I guess 2 seasons ago, and he really lit up the house. I remember walking off the field thinking, who was that quarterback that we just went against? So it's good to see all those guys here.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned all the guys coming back, and certainly the guys that you've added. It has created a logjam, not only with your roster, but nationally. A lot of the conversation has been out there about, certainly the younger guys who now, even this 2021 class, who may not see the field for an additional year, potentially with guys coming back. I see depth all over the place, certainly on the roster. Offensive line and linebacker has been addressed in this class. But just wanted to see get your thoughts overall on how did the conversation change at all with this class and this recruiting cycle, letting them know, hey, you may or may not be able to see the field as early as you thought you would because you got quality guys in front of you that are coming back that have played for us.
No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty open as far as the competition and what can go on here. If you're good enough to play and you compete and you do the things necessary to go out there and win football games for us, you find your way on the field, and it's just that simple. And I think in all our recruiting, and I would tell our team if they were sitting right in front of us, we go out to recruit better players than what we actually have here on our roster. And that's ultimately the goal. If you want to continue to build your program, you've got to do that. It creates competition. It creates competition in the weight room, in the classroom, and certainly on the playing field. And we've done that. So, everyone knows, hey, you go out there and you put in the effort. And if you can play at that high level, then you're going to play.
And one follow-up to that as well. You mentioned Cam Dye coming from Milton High School. Was it a little bit tougher? We talked about it in the early signing period about coaches not being able to get physically into the schools, getting out to see games in person. You guys just going on, obviously, relationships with coaching staff and recruits that way. Do you see that, potentially getting better? Have you heard anything about the 22 calendar as you guys shift your focus to current juniors? About potentially getting in either late spring or the summer or even looking to the fall?
Yeah, well, to start off with the first part of that question, yeah, it is hard when you don't see these individuals as much as you would like. Some of these guys made it to our junior days or our days that we had back last spring before it all happened. A few made it to games. It's difficult. I mean, it really is difficult. It's it's hard on them as well. I mean, it certainly is. So, a guy like Cam, for example, Cam in our previous prospect day we had here, Cam was, I guess, hadn't grown. He was, I think we had him listed as 6'2". He was about 242 pounds when he showed up here. And, unless you can physically go out and see this individual, you're really taking a risk. You try to get a Zoom call, but I mean, who wants to say, hey, Cam, man, go over there. I want to see you with your shirt off. I want to see how you've grown and developed. Stand behind that ruler right there and measuring tape. And let me see if you've grown 2 or 3 inches. I want to see your wingspan. And, there's a lot of stuff that goes on into it. So, yeah, it's very, very difficult. In addressing the future, I'm hoping that on April 16th, they're going to allow prospects to start coming back on campus. I don't know how that's really going to unfold. It seems like every single day this pandemic is all about more negative news than it is positive news. And I just don't see really where that's going to change here in the near future. Hopefully with this, the vaccines getting spread out, that we're gonna get back to some normalcy, but who's to say? But it has been a strain. I'm certainly sure on the recruits as well as it has the coaching staffs.
Final question for me. Do you, is this done? Is the class done at this point, or are you still looking potentially for more? I know the numbers, are higher than that 85 number. So I just wanted to check and see if this is it and you guys are focused on 22, or is there still an opportunity for other guys to join the roster?
Well, I'll never say it's it. I never say it's over. I mean, like I said, things have changed. I mean, it really has changed. There may be some attrition after spring practice with us. We do have a few more numbers that we can take. So there may be I won't say a surprise, but there may be an addition here or there.
Coach, it's Marcel again. You mentioned spring practice. What would the approach be? Do you plan to have the same amount of practices? Are you going to have maybe less contact and anything like that? Spring practice, how will you approach it this year?
Spring practice will be approached just like it is every single year. I mean, we're going to go out there. We're going to have our 15 opportunities. We're going to have our 3 helmet days, and then we're going to roll and go and teach the fundamentals: tackling, blocking, catching, throwing. So we'll be the same.
Coach, do you see Dye as a tackle or guard, or maybe plugged him in yet? And how is he going to benefit, or his progress going to benefit from being around guys like Quan and Bartlett who played here forever?
Well, right now I see him in the tackle position. I think he's got great movement skills. I think he plays with really good leverage. He finishes blocks. Certainly when you have athletic guys like that, you start them out of that tackle position and see where they actually might fit in. We try to teach a lot of our guys multiple positions. He may end up with the ball in his hand, teaching him to snap. I mean, we project just like everybody else does, but we certainly will cross-train him and all these other guys in multiple positions. And as far as the experience coming back with a group like we have, it's just like having a well-seasoned professor. You don't want to go into that classroom and learn from somebody that's just green and hasn't taught. These guys have been through this. They know how to maneuver the practices to gain their meeting time and generate good sense of it. Some people sit in meetings and they watch film and they have no idea what they're watching. They just sit in the film room and they think they're watching their opponent film. Quan can sit down and actually show this young man, as our coaching staff will, on how to watch film. Let's identify defensive linemen. Let's identify their techniques. Let's identify their stances. Let's see formational coverages from the secondary to know where a pressure might be coming from. So, the experience that those young men have and will share with these younger guys is going to be fantastic.
Any other questions from members of the media at this time?
Hey, Coach.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Just okay? I mean, come on now.
I'm doing great.
All right, there you go.
So last spring was obviously what it was, but even the spring before was when Coach Glenn had come in for the first time. So given all that you have coming back and given that you're going to get to have a full spring, God willing, how is it going to feel to have the continuity and even the winning momentum from the last 2 seasons coming into the spring practice?
It's really remarkable. It's a remarkable feeling. And when you have your entire coaching staff coming back and basically you have your entire roster returning as well, we could go out there today and we could line up in scrimmage. I mean, that's something to be said. I mean, I think our coaching staff is very familiar with one another. Our players are very familiar with our coaching staff, and the communication between the two is fantastic. So, we could, for whatever reason, they give you that helmet day to go out there and start spring practice off with and give you 2 of them for whatever reason. I think we could go out there and suit it up and probably get us about 150 scrimmage plays in right now and roll with it. That's just how comfortable I think our players are with our staff. Our staff is with our players and just where we are as far as a scheme.
Sounds like you'd go out there this afternoon if you had a chance.
Guarantee it. I would. I would. If they would let us do this thing year round, we could take a lot of the strain of the beating of the pads and stuff. You know, if they could just let us go out there in helmets, and man, we could really benefit from it and probably limit a lot of injuries. But they give you those 15 days and those 12 days of pads, and you feel like you got to go out there and beat. It doesn't have to be like that. We've got a really experienced group now. When we take the field in spring practice, to tell you the truth, it will be a lot less about the physical nature of the game of football and more about the true techniques and true teaching, because these guys are very experienced. They know what it takes to be a physical football team, and blocking and tackling and everything that goes along with it. So our spring may look a little bit different, but you can do that when you have a seasoned bunch like we have. And by the way, we're gonna start spring practice on March 9th. That will be our first day. We're gonna roll out on the field, and I think we've got it scheduled right now that we're gonna play our spring game. We're actually gonna have a spring game on April 16th, and we're gonna believe that's a Friday evening, and we're gonna have a little Friday night event. I'm not sure the time that we're gonna set it. Probably be a 6:30, 7 o'clock start, but I think we're gonna end it right there.